Welcome, everyone, to day 30 of our second session of this year called Going Deeper. My name is Sudeep Hegde. I live in South Carolina in the United States. I work at Clemson University as a faculty of industrial engineering. Before we go forward, I just want to remind everybody about getting your foot soak apparatus ready. So we'll just pull up a slide in a second. So if you're doing this for the first time, foot soak is basically having a bucket of water and salt and some fresh water on the side. So we'll meditate with our feet in the water, and it's good to keep have a towel handy as well. So also, if you would like to request a mentor to work with one-on-one, you can absolutely request a mentor. So we've just posted a link in the chat. You can make use of that. So on Sunday, actually, I will add before that, we also have several course materials that you can review on our website, as well as recordings of these sessions. So we are posting a link to that as well in the chat. So on Sunday, earlier this week, we had a very nice session where we focused on the left Nabhi chakra, which was about peace and well-being from within. Today's topic is on a part of our subtle system known as the void, which has a lot to do with growing in our sense of dignity and being able to face ourselves and developing our own mastery, or mastery of ourselves. So very quickly go over today's agenda. We will quickly introduce the topic of the void, followed by a guided meditation with the foot soak. And after that, we will watch a video of Shri Mataji where she talks about this guru principle. And then we will have some live music today by Rohit, whom I will introduce in a second. And then that will be followed by another guided meditation by Shivani, who will also introduce in a second. And after that, at the end, we'll have a few minutes of Q&A with the presenters, and you can also submit your questions to either any of us here for discussion. So with that, I would like to call on my co-presenters for today to introduce themselves. Hello, Shivani. Hello, Rohit. And we also have Angie. So Shivani, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure. My name is Shivani, and I'm coming to you from Vancouver today. I am originally from Australia, and I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga for all of my life, and I'm very excited to have another session with everyone today.
Great, wonderful. Welcome, Shivani. Angie, hello.
Hi, my name is Angie. I'm originally from Austria and in the US since 2009. I'm practicing this Sahaja Yoga meditation since 1994, and I'm very happy to be here with everyone today and share some experiences.
Thank you, Angie. And Rohit?
Hello. Sorry, I had trouble with my camera, but I'm Rohit. I'm in South Florida, and I have been practicing Sahaja Yoga for last 2 years. And tonight I'll be playing a little bit of Indian music on the Indian flute or the bansuri, along with the meditation.
Wonderful. Looking forward to that. And thank you, Angie, for kindly joining us. You'll be joining us for the Q&A later. Thank you, Shivani. So with that, I think we can get started with today's session. So just to introduce this topic, I want to draw on one of the many parables. So Shri Mataji used to use a lot of anecdotes and short stories and parables to talk about these qualities that manifest in us by each of our chakras being enlightened. So one of these that keeps coming to mind is it's sort of funny but also very deep. There was this once there was a wise man and an arrogant man walking towards each other on a very narrow path. There wasn't enough space for either of them to pass each other, so one had to give way to the other. The arrogant man, perhaps a little annoyed that somebody was in his way, very haughtily said, I do not move for fools. Without blinking an eye, the wise man said, I do. And he gave way for the other person to move. So it's on the one hand, it is, of course, funny, but it also reflects so many qualities of wisdom in the wise man, of course. There was that person displayed a certain detachment as well as a presence of mind, which means the ability to witness the situation, and to not react with your ego, but to be detached and be as a master would. So now, how can we, all of us, develop that sort of mastery? I'm sure we can all relate to situations like that in our lives. I, for one, have perhaps been on both sides in on different occasions. But what is it in us that how do we get to that state of detachment, of being a witness, of transcending our ego, and rather than being a slave to it? And it so happens that there is a region within our subtle system called the void. If we can have the slide on to just show the location of the void. So as you can see, there is this circular region shown in green around the stomach and lower abdomen. This region encompasses both the second and the third chakras, or energy centers. And when the Kundalini passes through this area, the guru principle in us is enlightened. We become masters. We are less enslaved by our ego and superego, less entangled by it, and we rise towards the higher self, so to speak. And you have all these qualities of innate righteousness and patience, being decisive, knowing exactly what to do in different situations, as well as disciplining oneself. All of this is closely associated with this region known as the void. So it is a very, very important stage in our evolution, in our ascent. And Shri Mataji has stressed immensely on us developing these qualities in ourselves. So we will focus on just that in today's meditation. So we will begin with the foot soak. So if you have your foot soak apparatus ready, and if you don't have it, that's fine too. You can absolutely meditate along. So let's relax. Allow our attention to settle inward. Maybe take a few deep breaths. And we will raise our energy into our Sahasrara chakra using these hand gestures and taking a bandhan after that to balance ourselves. tension at the top of our head, let's direct this subtle energy that is activated in us by moving a hand clockwise over the water. What we're doing here is basically invoking the qualities of the ocean and vibrating this water and salt so that this becomes an effective instrument in absorbing all the negative energies within us. And put both our feet inside. Let's put the right hand towards Mother Earth. We just let it hang by our side. Mother, please absorb all the imbalances, all heaviness, all tiredness coming from my past, from emotion, from the subconscious. Let me be free to be in the present. Let me be free of worldly entanglements and attachments and conditionings from the past. And let me be free to experience the joy, the innocent joy of the Spirit. Notice how we feel on our hands. Notice any changes on the left hand. We can bring the right hand back on our lap. We raise the left hand upward. We bend the left arm at the elbow. And have our hand facing backward. Let all the agitation, the heat, from the right side of my being, from the right energy channel, escape into the ether. Let my thoughts dissolve into the stillness of the spirit. Let my attention deepen from the grossness of the exterior to the sublime within. To the subtle. Let me be free of being identified with my actions. Let me be free from the illusion of being the doer. You, the divine, are the doer. And bring the left hand down. We'll bring our attention to the void. Let's place the right hand at the upper part of the stomach. And we're going to move it slowly clockwise from the top to the left. And then below the navel, then to the right, back on top again. We use this hand gesture to allow the Kundalini to do her work. We pray to her, Mother, please purify my void. Please make me my own Guru. Please enlighten my Guru principle. Take me across the ocean of illusion into wisdom. Again, we do nothing. She does everything. This living, mothering energy. We can bring our hand back. Just keep our attention at the top of our head. Remain in silence for a moment. With that, we will now conclude the foot soak. We'll remove our feet one by one, rinse them off. Set the bucket aside. We will now listen to a talk by Shri Mataji, where she talks about the importance of self-discipline in establishing our Guru principle.
Guru principle is extremely strict, and the strictness made many people could not conform to the ideals of a disciple. In those days, the Guru had to be absolutely the authority, and it was the Guru who would decide which disciples he'll have. And one had to go into great tapasya, to great penances, to even become a disciple. And this hardship was the only way the Guru used to judge. Gurus would always live in jungles, and they would select their disciples, very few, very, very few. And they had to go and beg food from the neighboring villages and cook food for their Guru with their own hands and feed the Guru. That sort of Guru business is not in Sahaja. That basically we must understand that the difference between those styles of Guruship and that we have now is this, that very few individuals were given the chance to become the Guru. Very few. And these few also were selected out of quite a lot of people, and they felt that there was something really special, that they are being selected, chosen, and that whatever they will have to go through is all welcome. With this idea, they became the disciples. But Sahaja Yoga is a very different thing. I would say just the opposite. First of all, your Guru is a mother, and who suffers from Sandra Karuna. At the slightest things that happen to you, my eyes get filled with tears. So, as a mother, to be a Guru is a very difficult thing. But at the same time, for you to achieve heights is also difficult. Because you get lost when I love you so much, and in that love you forget sometimes that the progress in your being is very slow. It is important that in Sahaja Yoga you have to be strict with yourself, That's why I said that you have to be your own guru, which people do not understand what it means. You have to be your own guru means you have to guide yourself, you have to treat yourself as your disciple, and you have to trim yourself. If you do not understand the responsibility as Sahaja of working it out yourself, everything, you cannot move very fast, because it is a different type of relationship between the Guru and the disciples. So first, I have always said you become your own Guru. So you have to make a lot of introspection and fix your ideals. Before you, I am sitting. You have seen me how I am. I can eat anything. I need not eat at all for days together. I can sleep anywhere. I may not sleep at all. I travel for miles together untiringly. I have this energy because I am a guru of myself also. So the first thing is that there should be a lot of introspection. What's wrong with me, not wrong with others? What's wrong with me? Am I seeking the comfort of my body? The attention, is it on my body or on my spirit? If so, what am I doing? I think best thing is to write it down. Can I sleep on the grass? Can I sit on the stone? You have to make this body work. Can I sleep anytime I like, and can I keep awake anytime I like? I've seen people doze off. The reason is this, not that they're bad or in any way indisciplined people, but because inside they are tired. If you are tired inside, then you feel tired all the time. You will see on the television, if you see people in the West, they are always sitting like this. Because they are so very tired. Why are they so tired? They don't work so hard. So introspect how you behave. Now when you start introspecting yourself, you'll also start introspecting your surroundings and your styles and your methods and what you are doing to yourself because of the conditionings of the outside.
Let's continue to meditate silently. Thank you for having me.
After listening to that soothing Bansuri music, we can all just sit in silent meditation for a few minutes. We can just relax and close our eyes and maintain that silence within ourselves. And we can bring our attention to the void. On our own subtle systems. And we can just say in our hearts, I am my own guru. I am my own teacher. We can say this a few times just in our hearts, that I am my own guru. We can bring our attention back up from the void to the top of our heads, just above the top of our heads. And we'll sit in meditation in a thoughtless awareness state. If any thoughts come to your mind, just say, "Not now." Or you can say, "I forgive." I'm feeling a little bit of a warmth on my left hand. So what we'll do is we'll just drop our right hand towards the ground, or if we're sitting on the floor, we can place our right hand on the ground. And we can ask our Mother Kundalini within ourselves, "Mother, please remove any negativity, any excess heat, or any imbalances from within my left channel, and let it be absorbed into the earth." Mother Kundalini, please nourish my left channel. We can bring our right hand back up onto our laps. And take a moment to assess what you're feeling on your hands. Part of the group principle is understanding your own vibrations, understanding what you feel on your hands. Anywhere you might feel a heat or a tingle, that's your Kundalini letting you know what you need to clear out and what is out of balance within your subtle system. So what we'll do is we'll take our right hand and we'll start at the base of our spine in front of us. And we'll just raise our Kundalini a few times upwards, all the way to the top of the Sahasrara. And as we're doing this, just take your attention along your spine, from the base of your spine, slowly, through all of the chakras, and then leave it at the Sahasrara. You can do this a few times. We can ask our Kundalinis, Mother Kundalini, please give me the capacity to be my own guru. Mother, please let me achieve self-mastery. And we can take a moment to just check the vibrations at the top of our heads. We can also check with our left hand. We can bring our hands back down. And just for a couple of more minutes, we can sit in silent meditation. We can slowly open our eyes. And we can finish our meditation by raising our Kundalini and taking a bandhan together. So placing our left hand in front of us, rotating our right hand around the left hand, we can raise the Kundalini 3 times, tying a knot. We can give ourselves a bandhan, just making an arc around ourselves from knee to knee, 7 times. So that concludes our meditation session for today. I'll pass it back to Sandeep to take us through any announcements and other information.
Thank you, Shivani. That wonderful meditation. And Rohit, before that, which is that beautiful, sublime music. So we have a few announcements to make. So the handout for today's theme, the void, along with handouts for all the other chakras are available on the website. This is the handout for the void. So it has nicely summarized information about this center, as well as the affirmations that you can use to balance it. So these handouts can be very helpful in our daily practice. This Thursday, we will continue the session. It is close to the occasion of Shri Mataji's birthday, which is 21st of March. So we will learn about Shri Mataji's life and her vision for humanity, and the significance of her life. And once again, to recap, this ongoing 21-day course schedule is we have these meditations every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday up until the 15th of April at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And we also have a collective foot soak and meditation session every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:45. These are shorter sessions, and they are focused on the foot soak. And all of these programs are recorded, and the recordings, along with all the other resources, are available online on the website. And if you would like to work with a mentor one-on-one, offline, either now or in between these sessions as well, please fill out the form. We just posted it in the chat. You can also join our community on WhatsApp. There'll be daily communication about various messages, excerpts from talks, and other reminders. And once again, if you need the link, we have it there. And we will move on to the Q&A session now. But before that, if you would like to request a breakout room to have a closer and a more private interaction with a Sahaja Yoga teacher, please write to breakout room help. Or you can also write to this open session. You can write to me if you have any questions for the presenters today. So during the Q&A session. All right, with that, I'd like to call back our presenters. So Shivani and Angie, if you can come on. And all right. Okay, so we have, let's see if we have any questions in the chat. Right, there's one. Why do we call void an illusion? So, the illusion is really I guess, when we are operating at the level of the ego and the superego, when we are identified with um, everything that is worldly, that is around us, including the body, the family, the society, the community that we are part of socially. All of these are, I guess, parts of our identity, but then they are external. It's also an illusion because uh, it removes you from the reality of the self, which is the spirit, and that level of awareness is separate from all of those identities. And when you see those identities as separate from your true self, from your inner being, the illusion becomes much more apparent, much more obvious, and the detachment starts to come in, and you become less reactive to what's happening around you, and you're able to witness better. So that's at least one reason why we call it the illusion. I don't know if Angie or Shivani have anything to add to that.
You explained it beautifully.
Okay, thank you. We have another question here. So I'll just read it out. It is a little confusing when we have to invoke Mother Earth versus Mother Kundalini in the affirmations. Can you please clarify, especially in the context of the Muladhara Chakra? Yes. I can read it out again. So when we have to invoke Mother Earth versus Mother Kundalini in the affirmation, that's confusing. Can you please clarify, especially in the context of the Muladhara Chakra? Does either of you want to address that?
Yeah, so I can have a go at answering it. Hopefully I understood the question correctly, but when we're meditating and we address Mother Kundalini or that energy within us, and it's what we are using is that energy that's individual. Everyone has their own individual Kundalini, and it's a nourishing energy within us. And so the Kundalini energy is very connected to the Param Chaitanya, which we discussed in a previous session. And that Param Chaitanya is this divine consciousness all around us. And the Mother Earth is another aspect of that divine consciousness and the creation. And so the reason that those two things are the affirmations are said to those two energies differently is simply just to drive the attention where we want it to be. However, those two energies are actually very, very closely linked, and the Param Chaitanya is what flows through everyone, and the Kundalini is what's individual. And so when we're referring to the Mother Earth and asking the Mother Earth to pull out that heat, it is that Param Chaitanya which flows in the Kundalini of each person. So they are interchangeable sometimes, and it can sound a bit confusing, but really, again, like with every Sahaja treatment, the goal is that you feel it for yourselves as a scientist. Like you approach everything in a scientific way. When I place my hand on the earth, and when I have my left hand open to clear my left channel, say, for example, what am I feeling? Do I feel the cool breeze on my hands? Do I feel that manifestation of the Param Chaitanya working with my Kundalini, which is my own individual energy nourishing me? And so it may be a little bit confusing and takes a little bit of time to grasp these concepts, especially because the language might be foreign. We're using like Sanskrit terms, but it's really a case of just saying the affirmations and seeing how you feel, making it a true exercise and experimentation as a scientist to really feel the benefit of those affirmations and those clearing techniques. And so I think the way that the Mother Earth is related to the Muladhara chakra is that the Muladhara is the base of our subtle system. And so when we meditate on the ground, that element of the earth is also a base for just the landscape that we live in, the earth itself. It is the foundation. And so those two things are related. So you'll find that when you meditate on the earth, it's almost a clearing technique in itself. It's basically like a foot soak. The way that the foot soak works, it grounds you, it pulls out all that heat and that static within yourself. It's very similar when you sit on the ground and your Muladhara is connected to the ground. I hope that kind of covers the question in a clear way. But if Angie would like to add anything to that.
I cannot add anything. That was again very beautifully explained and wonderful again.
Yeah, I agree. And the only thing I might add is Mother Earth has a motherly quality. That's why I think this is not just in Sahaja Yoga, but for long, people call Mother Earth and Mother Nature because of those mothering qualities in Earth. And the Kundalini is just like that. It is a living energy and has all those qualities of a mother. So yes, so thank you. And so here's another question. Now, Shri Mataji talks about being strict with oneself and being your own guru, treating yourself as your own disciple, right? So how have you tried to follow this advice in your life? Angie, do you want to take that?
Yeah, no, that is actually, it's a very beautiful question. So I experience it like actually every day, where, when we have these challenges throughout the day, we come home, we are tired, we just want to unwind, we want to sit in front of the TV, not think about anything anymore. But then, you should do your meditation and you should do your foot soak, because it just takes out everything from the day, but you really don't feel like it. And it happens even after 30 years of meditation, you feel the resistance. And then this inner guru comes up and says, no, you really have to now go and meditate and do your foot soak, because you will feel better afterwards, and you should not miss a day, because then you will feel it the next day. You feel it, you will just not feel quite so well. So it's really this daily guidance that comes from within, where we have to be a little bit strict, because there is always this resistance that you just don't want to do it. But then you're so happy when you listen to your inner guru and you listen to this inner voice and you say, okay, now I'm just going and I will do my foot soak. And afterwards you're like, oh, I'm so glad that I listened to that. So yeah, that is the daily experience with the inner guru.
Absolutely. And that's a very relatable example as well. So
Yeah, if I could just add that like a good way to understand what it means to be your own guru is to almost compare it to, like, just as an analogy, to the gym. So you get your gym membership and you have a few forces that are driving you to go. So, you need to lose weight, you need to be healthy, that you feel great afterwards and all this. But the difference between your spiritual journey and meditating versus going to the gym is that there's one more driving factor that forces you to go, which is the fact that you're paying for it. You're paying for this thing, you don't want to waste your money, and so you're like, okay. But when it comes to your spiritual ascent, the desire comes from within yourself. And that's when the guru principle has to work, because if you're not being strict with yourself, and if you're not teaching yourself in a way that, I have to do this is for my benefit. It's like the gym, but tenfold. Your whole personality, you can transform your entire life and your entire being. When you really register that within yourself, then that guru principle, it pushes you forward. So now, like, I have to be disciplined with myself if I truly want to feel the benefits of Sahaja Yoga and of meditation. And it can come in many different forms. So even challenging yourself in, like, let's say you can only sleep on a specific mattress and with a specific blanket at a specific temperature. All these things are just comforts that actually are just binding us and keeping us locked in our conditioning. So one thing that my family's always done is that when we're feeling like things have gotten too cushy, we'll go camping. Like there's lots of different ways that you can challenge that feeling of like lethargy and just wanting to be comfortable. And I think everybody at this point understands that, like, any hard thing in life, any achievement, anything worth doing requires that bit of discipline. And so that's where the Guru Tattva comes into play. And it's so great that you can just clear out your void. Like, if you're feeling like you're not getting that discipline through your own, like, mental motivation and pushing yourself, then you just do the clear out treatments for your void, and it can help a lot to give you that, like, resilience and discipline.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think I relate to both of these examples, but the only thing I would add is, in my own journey, when I've tried to discipline myself, it's not always that you suddenly pick up those good habits, right? It's a little bit of trial and error, and then there's some struggle, there's some back and forth. So I've learned to not beat myself up if I don't stick to that ideal routine. And that actually is helpful in actually building that routine in the longer term. To tell yourself, it's okay, that this day is over. Let's look forward to the next day.
Yeah, for sure. It can even be like, if you want to really build that within yourself, it can even be if you love salty food. Just for a day, try, I'm adding no salt to my food. Just test yourself in that way. And it's just, it's a really good, those kind of things are really good activities or exercises to do to just, like, challenge this feeling of comfort. Because sometimes discomfort is where the most growth happens.
Yeah, it's sugary foods for me, but yeah, the same idea.
Yeah, that's true. I think food is a good test for establishing our Guru Tattva. So Deep, what you said, I think that is also important. We should also be the loving master to ourselves. So we need the strictness, but we also should not beat up ourselves when we don't get around to, do our foot soaks, do our meditation, or do something we need to do. Sometimes it just happens that we can't, and then it's okay to not beat us up, but be loving to yourself, be patient to yourself. And also, Shivani, what you said, like just clearing the void, I really felt that when I had these times where I really could not get around to do something, then working on my void really helped, where the next day I felt actually, oh, now I feel, it's so much easier to do that. So it's really working on the chakras that are connected with the aspect we want to manifest. It really helps us to do these things. So it's very nice, but always remember to be kind to yourself. Be a kind, but also a strict master.
It's a balance. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So here's another one. How has strengthening your void chakra helped you to know what's true and what's good for you? Shivani, do you want to?
Sure. So in strengthening my void chakra personally, that's just been self-mastery and really learning to understand what the vibrations that I'm feeling on my hands or in my subtle system mean. And so, and also just understanding that you can check, whether you want to, what path for you is correct and what's not based on your vibrations. So strengthening that just vibrational awareness and the knowledge that in each of these sessions, all the presenters have been sharing, this knowledge can really help you understand yourself and help you fix your problems. So personally, every day I check my hands just to see, like, what am I feeling today? Am I feeling a little bit more warm on the right, a little bit warm on the left? And then that way I can really just learn about myself without having to overanalyze or without having to overthink anything, what state I'm in. And that goes for my own internal subtle system, but also to check the vibrations on decisions I'm making. So often I will put that in my attention. Like, let's say I need to decide whether I want to do A or B. That confidence that I have in myself through learning about Sahaja Yoga, through learning about all the techniques and learning about what I'm feeling on my hands. When I feel cool or warmth, I have full confidence knowing that what is right for me and what is wrong for me, and that my Kundalini will only, and the Param Chaitanya will only manifest on my hands as a cool breeze when I'm on the right track. So it's been really great for me in that way that I can feel what's wrong with diagnose myself, any issues that I might have, but also help me go through life.
Okay. I think the sensitivity through the hands is a very important part of our awareness and the development of our void. And sometimes, this has been my experience, and I've seen it with a few other people as well, which is that the void, even at the physical level, may become more sensitive than before after realization. For instance, if there have been times when, on hearing something that is very untrue or even gross, you start feeling nauseous from within. You almost feel like throwing up, even if you may not have eaten anything, because there's just internally, viscerally, there is perhaps a big friction between something as pristine as the Kundalini and this baser energy that you're experiencing. So, that's perhaps another, that's something that's part of the sensitivity, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, another one, how have you experienced the deepening of your Guru Tattva having an effect on those around you? Angie, do you want to take that?
Yeah, for me, it was interesting because before I started with Sahaja Yoga meditation, I was someone who was not confident in myself. So whenever I had a problem, I always went to other people to ask for advice. And often this advice was not the best. And then I was upset, why did I listen? And when I started meditating, I realized that I got more confident with everything because you get the knowledge, you understand the chakras, you understand other people in a very different way, in what state their chakras are, and you react differently. And then I realized that people around me started to react differently to me. So then suddenly it was people coming to me and asking for advice. Before it was always me asking others. And that was really a surprise for me that people came and they asked questions, they asked for advice. And sometimes what happened was like I told a story or something, where I realized something, and someone would take notes and write it down. And I was really like, oh wow, that was really a surprise. But it made me realize what a transformation I went through, and also what the meaning of the void is. When you master something, then others start feeling that and reacting to that, and they come to you because they feel that you really have answers that are really helping them, because you understand it on such a deeper level. Like, so.
Yeah. Shivani, do you have more to add?
Well, I feel like Angie's answer was like very, it hit all the points that anything that I could have thought she said that or more. But yeah, definitely just when you have a confidence in your knowledge, then other people can feel it, and other people definitely feel that benefit from you. And I can speak also being on the other side, that my parents, they both meditate and have been practicing Sahaja Yoga for many, many years. And I can feel that confidence from them, that they have that Guru Tattva quality within them. And so whenever I was like, had any questions, or, needed vibrational support, needed understanding, I needed help understanding what I was feeling on my hands, I would always turn to them. And yeah, so it definitely gave me a lot of inspiration. And through them, I learned the importance of the Guru Tattva and how confident it's made me to really get the knowledge of my subtle system in Sahaja Yoga and be able to really feel all the benefits of meditating.
Sure. Yeah. We'll take maybe one more. Shri Mataji asks us to introspect in order to make progress in Sahaja Yoga. Please talk about how you would do that in your life as a Sahaja Yogi. How would you, I guess, use introspection to make progress? Either of you, maybe Angie.
Yeah, so for me, I actually love introspecting. So what I do, and I really advise everyone to do that, to do the journaling, because I have an evening routine and I love doing that, to just sit and think about the day, what has happened during the day. So for me, the introspection part is, first of all, I want to become a better person. I want to become deeper in the practice of Sahaja Yoga, where I feel the vibrations better, where, my chakras open up more and I have all the qualities, and hopefully not the negative qualities. So I look at my day and say, if I want to be a better person, where do I still need to improve? Where do I still react? And why do I react? And to what things do I react? So that is a part of an introspection I really like to do every day. And this gives you also clues which chakra might need more attention and more working on. And then the last part is in the meditation itself, where I check my own subtle system. So if you sit in meditation, then you can ask your Mother Kundalini, please show me the state of my own subtle system. And then see which fingers you feel, which part of the hand, or if the whole left or the whole right hand is warm. And then you also have a good idea on which you need to work a little bit more, where you need to put some attention. And if you see, okay, maybe it's my left nabi that feels really heavy, then again, introspect if it's a continuous thing showing up. So what is in this area that makes my left nabi so unhappy? And see what it needs, what aspect maybe I need to manifest or work out.
Yeah, and if I may add to that, I think it's even more helpful to be able to introspect with the knowledge of the subtle system that is available through us through Sahaja Yoga, where you're reflecting on where your thoughts are coming from and so forth. But like you said, you also have the knowledge of the chakras and their significance. And in terms of the void itself, one of the insights is that I've realized there are, for certain, let's say, some things that you're struggling with, like a habit that you want to get rid of, right? You actually need effort to avoid those distractions or to build those habits. So sometimes your introspection could lead you to answers where you need to put in that effort, perhaps. Other times, it's more about letting go, like not reacting and realizing it's not you doing it, but it's the divine. For instance, it's not you trying to work out your or trying to be thoughtless, for instance. The more you try to make it happen, the more difficult it becomes. So just understanding the left and right side aspects of it is helpful as well. Just want to add that. So, Shivani, do you have any insight?
Yeah, no, I thought both of those answers are really great. But yeah, I think definitely when it comes to introspecting, there is definitely a benefit from acknowledging where your weaknesses are and just knowing that, you can grow from it, you can learn from it. There's like the subtle system is very, even if you've got some issue where your one finger is catching and it's been catching continuously, it's possible to clear it and it's possible to, bring that back into balance. It's just a case of introspecting that, okay, let's say, for example, the right Vishuddhi, this right index finger is catching a lot. And that it might lead you to just try to introspect within yourself. Like, am I being sharp with people? Like, am I actually rude to people? Maybe I need to watch myself. And then when you're able to acknowledge what it is that's causing that imbalance, sometimes that can just help a lot with directing your your efforts to clear out those imbalances, which is very useful because sometimes you feel an imbalance in your hands and it just sticks. And for some reason you keep clearing it, but until you acknowledge what the problem is and what negativity might actually be fueling that imbalance, it might be easier for you to direct your efforts in terms of clearing when you take a good minute to just introspect on those catches that you feel or those tingles that you feel.
That's a good point because sometimes the source might also be external, like the place you're in, the people you're with, and sometimes it could be internal too. So
yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you could walk into a room and feel a catch that you've never felt before in your meditations, and it can be almost instant. Like I've walked into rooms before where all of a sudden my left Swadhisthana, my left thumb will just start buzzing. And I'm like, okay, I know that there's something, that might need to be dealt with vibrationally in this space, but it's definitely an external one in that moment. And it takes some time to understand that because even myself, not all the time my sensitivity is always strong. Sometimes I need to work on that. But it's very interesting when you first experience something like that. Like, oh, this is not me. This is an external catch or an external imbalance that I'm just feeling on my hands, which is also a really great part of the journey.
Yeah.
I hope everyone sees it soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you all for such wonderful insights and very enjoyable conversation. And thank you all for joining as well, all the attendees. So we will conclude the session, at least the main room, although the breakout rooms will continue. So if you want to still seek a breakout room and talk to a Sahaja Yoga teacher or practitioner, please feel free to stay on, let us know. the Q&A session in the open room, we will end it now. So thank you all for coming, and have a good night, and see you all on Thursday.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.